Hi modelers, welcome back to my channel for a new video. Today, which is quite unusual for me, we're going to take a look at a tank model. Yes, it's a surprise even to me, but it's important to try new things and techniques. I chose the Panzerkampfwagen III Ausf tank kit. The kit is made by Academy and is in 1/35 scale. This is a new 2020 edition, and the kit is very nice. The parts fit together beautifully, and it's full of perfect details. I highly recommend it. The color-printed instructions are also clear and very well put together. Another plus is the variety of camouflage patterns from the German campaign in North Africa. Let's get started. Are you ready? Grab a beer, sit back, and enjoy the video. Let's start with these sturdy supports, which will hold up the entire body. As always, I'm using Tamiya extra thin glue. Here I'm outlining the rough welds with a sharp scalpel. It's a small detail, but it adds character to the model. I'll soften the weld I've carved out with some glue. Now it's time to tackle the metal texture. The armor on German tanks was made by rolling, and some parts by casting. And such metal has a slightly rough, uneven surface. This surface was depicted on the model, but only very lightly, so I thought it would be better to create it myself. One could argue that smooth rolled armor wasn't as textured as roughly cast elements, such as those found on Soviet tanks, but it did have some texture, and it would be a shame not to depict it. I recreated the texture of the metal surface by stippling with a brush using Mr. Surfacer 1500. I stippled the surface until it was almost dry. No details are lost at all, and the surface is perfect. I left the tank sheet metal parts and, for example, the turned barrel exactly as they were in the kit. Here, however, you can see a minor modification to the front fender. Imagine the tank driving through a city and, due to poor visibility, crashing into a wall, a pole, or simply a vehicle in front of it. Damage to these parts of the tank was very common, so I had to include them in my model as well. Do you enjoy and find the construction of tanks and other ground vehicles interesting? Let me know in the comments if so, and if I've managed to reach new modelers who don't build airplanes or ships. Gluing on the headlights and small details. There were a lot of these kinds of details, the ones you glue onto the tank, and honestly, there's not much to say about them, which really made the voiceover difficult. I can't possibly comment on every little shovel, rake, pair of pliers, fire extinguisher, and steel cable that I glue onto the model. The model also includes several metal parts. That's another small plus for this kit. There's one spot I'm keeping my fingers crossed about, and I had to use putty there. But that's the exception, and perhaps the only spot like that on the entire model. Once again, kudos to the manufacturer. Are you still watching? Thanks, everyone. And now we're slowly getting to the part where we'll glue all those parts and tools onto the model. We've already covered the stippling technique, so I'm going to take a short break now. Enjoy some relaxing music. The break is over. Wake up, things are about to get interesting. Fun fact, I don't build tanks because of this part, which I really don't like, lots of road wheels and track links. The wheel and track system in the kit is designed so that the wheels stay on really tightly. But I need to be able to remove them at any time. That's why I had to enlarge all the wheel axle holes. Some with a drill, and others with a hypodermic needle and tweezers. The result is a wheel that stays on the tank but can be removed at any time. We'll assemble the wheels onto the tank, but we won't glue them in place. Next, we'll take the long track section, which is the only one that's in one piece. From there, we'll proceed section by section, piece by piece. I glued the upper part of the tracks together and let them harden slightly off the model. After attaching them to the tank, I added the final wheels and adjusted the tracks to look as if they had been deformed by Earth's gravity. And here is the result of my long work. The entire set of wheels and tracks is fully detachable from the model, which has nothing but advantages. It makes it easier to access the underside of the hull, easier to apply paint and weathering, and basically easier to work on any area where fixed wheels and tracks would get in the way. I'm finally getting around to gluing the turret. Note, to keep the cannon movable, I'm not gluing this part down. Just as I build enclosed cockpits for airplanes, I build closed hatches for tanks. I like cohesive silhouettes. Finally, I'll attach the commander's cupola to the tank. I'll use superglue to attach the final metal parts. And here you can clearly see the texture of the surface created by stippling. And now we can start painting the model. But we'll save that for next time. Thank you very much for watching my video, and as a reward, enjoy these photos of the finished model. Bye.